you are on, and here.
So, hello everybody, once again we are live, and today I prepare a pretty nice long hair layered haircut for you. Maybe some of you will follow our live sessions more than one time, and so they know that we sometimes switch between more artistic haircutting and basic haircutting. And today we plan a little bit more basic haircut. But this haircut is something you can use in salon on your clients maybe every day, because with a long fringe area and this soft layering all over the head, it is something that you need, that your clients want when they sit on your chair. So I think this is not a real basic haircut, it is a salon most wanted haircut. So, and I start preparing my mannequin with a pre-parting following the A-axis around the head and a triangular section in the front, which we use for a long curtain fringe area. And what's interesting at this haircut is that we're going to start it in the fringe area, and we cutting the layering all over the head before we do the final length in the back. Why are we gonna do this? Because the layers in this haircut are more important than the solid line you later do in the back. So the layers, if a client decides for a haircut like this, he expects a really nice layering around the face, and this is the most important point. So my recommendation for you is, if you're going to do strong layered haircut, start them always at the top of the head or at the front of the head. It depends what kind of haircut you want to do. If you are interested in more layered haircuts, you can find 3 more at the Udemy platform, because it's my online platform. I offering online education. And of course we also do reverse layering there, but 2 or 3 different versions. Today we do another version, and maybe if you like this haircut, so we will do an online education for this as well. Because this haircut is new and I created it in the last weeks, because the needs in salon, they go straight ahead. And in some cases you need to change techniques, you need to make new variations, that it fits the needs of the clients and the fashion what we're gonna have today. So, now we're gonna start with this haircut, and you see the triangular section in the front. What we're going to do first, we split this, and we take a very small, thin section, which is our guideline for the layers. So, this small section I always use in my communication with the client, what length is the best for her. I ask her, in the fringe, in the bangs area, do you want it shorter, do you want it a little bit longer? So this is the section the decision is gonna do. So I comb the hair in the natural form. And I make the guideline in the beginning, and you can see we are using for a fringe area, we're using a longer length, because we want to have as curtain bangs later on. So this is important that you don't cut it too short in the beginning. Now you split this section, because now we're gonna start at one side first with 2 additional sections. And we start combing the hair in diagonal partings. comb the hair away, we take it, and we comb it in a rectangle position. And what is really important for you is that your finger position is parallel to the sectioning. The angle of your diagonal section is 45 degrees starting from the A-axis. That means this is 0, this is 90 degrees, this is 45 degrees. So this is why we're going to start here with a 45 degrees angle. So you comb the hair straight out, your finger position is parallel, you take a look at your guideline and you start cutting parallel to your finger position. If you've done this, you take the next section of this fringe area, you comb it in the same position, in a 45 degrees angle. You comb the hair straight to your fingers in a low angle and you cut. And now if you comb the hair back in the natural form, you can see a diagonal line going longer to the side area. And this is what we want to create later on. But now we do the same on the other side. So we take a little guideline with us and we comb the hair away. We walk around the head, standing on the opposite side. And we do the same. We comb the hair in a 45 degrees angle. Oops. Take care about the finger position and the guideline you see between your fingers. And we do the second section. The comb direction you use is a rectangular distribution. If this is your partoning, your comb show you the rectangular distribution. Take a look at here, you see, this is too low, this is too high, and this is the right one. So put your comb into your partoning, and the teeth of your comb show you exactly how you have to comb the hair. Control your finger position and cut the second section here. Now we comb the hair in the natural form. We can do a check, and you can see a strong concave line getting longer to the side area, and this is exactly what we're gonna do and what we want to have, because when we later do the blow drying, we want that the fringe area is going in this direction. And short hair follows always the longer hair. That means it goes away in this direction. When you are done with the fringe area, you continue with the first side. So you open, and it doesn't matter which side is the first one. You can do whatever you want. You can do first right or left or right, doesn't matter. So comb the hair and continue with this diagonal partings. If you like, you can use a clip to fix the hair, but to be honest, it's not necessary. And now you start with the layering all over the head. Comb away the hair from the opposite side. I'll show you that here. Comb this hair away seriously, because if you cut that, you have a hole inside your haircut. This is really not good. So comb it away clip it and you're on the safe side. Now make the head a little bit lower, because now we are going to increase the angle we comb the hair. You can see we still have the diagonal parting, we still have the rectangular distribution. Put the comb inside the parting and you can see which is the right direction. But it's important that you move up with your fingers now, because otherwise if you go down, the layers on the back of the head are going to be less stronger. So that means you have not enough layers here. If you lift your fingers, you increase the layering, you have more layers, you have stronger layers in the back part. So let's go comb to here. Lift your fingers, but the same position. You see, it's parallel to the parting. I'm still taking care that I cut the hair through my guideline. Next section. I'm still continuing with the 45 degrees diagonal partingings. I comb the hair through my guideline, and now you can see something that's really important. If the section is going to be too wide for you to have it in your fingers in one step, so you can split it a little bit. So you can take first the part at the top of the head, then you put this away, and you take the rest of the section. That makes it easier for you, especially when you see later on, when we move ahead and we have more and more hair in our hands, then this is really important. So I walk around the head. I do the sectioning for the next one. I comb it straight forward, but I still have a diagonal parting. This is important because one of the biggest mistakes people make is that they move from a diagonal parting into a vertical. And if you go inside a vertical parting, it can happen, and this is mostly happen, you comb the hair directly forward and not upward. And this means you're getting shorter in this area, and this doesn't look good. Maybe you have such an edgy result later on if you make this mistake. So this is really important. Stay diagonal and comb the hair directly to you. So I split my section because otherwise I have too much hair between my fingers. I comb it, I lift the angle because I want to have strong layers in the backwards. I'm taking care about my guideline. Lift the hair, take a look, where is the guideline, and cut. I put away the first part, and now the more important part is one. Here, put the comb inside your section and you see how you should comb the hair. Not forward, comb it rectangular. That means you will have more length in the side area later on. Done. We're going to continue with the next section. You can see we have more and more hair which we work with. So do not hesitate to split the section when you work with. So you guarantee for an exact haircut. Guideline, cut. Comb it. Watch for the guideline, cut. Comb this away and take the hair in the profile area and comb it upward. Such a technique we call a stationary technique, which means you have one guideline in the beginning and you comb all the hair through this guideline. To be honest, technically it's not so complicated to do it. But you will see later on this wonderful result we will create. But if you work in a stationary technique, oh, here I forgot some here, so I do it again. What I mean, if you work in a stationary technique, you can use a little bit thicker sections. This has no influence to the quality of your haircut. If you do, for example, a pixie haircut, like we did 2 weeks ago, it's important that you have really thin sections, that you have control when you work mobile around the head shape. But with a stationary technique, this is more easy and you can use a little bit wider sections. Now, you can see this is the interesting part. Comb it straight up to you and take care that you do not work like this. You make it too short in this way.
Is it possible for you to speak just a little bit louder when you speak?
No problem! If I'm not loud enough, I can make it louder. So, I hope everybody understands what I explained till now. Otherwise, it's not such a big deal because the other side is still the same technique. So, you can see I still work with diagonal sections. I comb all the hair around the head shape. And when you do this haircut, combing is so important because take care before you cut that you comb the hair very exactly, very seriously. You can see I comb it maybe 20 times before I bring my finger into position and I start cutting. Because this is really important. If you do that carefully, your layers will be absolutely perfect. Absolutely. So, I split the sections. Put this one away and take the other one. And guys, I will take care that you really see what's important. So, comb it up to you. So, we do the next one. I think we don't need a clip anymore. Comb the hair seriously, especially when you're walking through the nape area. Maybe some of you will ask yourself, why do you call such a technique reverse technique? Reverse technique or reverse layering means you have the shortest point here in the fringe area and you have an increase in length and all the hair comes through this one length in the beginning. That means that's the reason why it's called reverse layering. You have one guideline and every hair is combed and cut through this guideline.
For what length is this haircut suitable for and what type of hair?
This haircut fits for every type of hair because it's a basic technique. You can use for straight hair as well as thick or thin hair. It doesn't matter. I will explain what's important for you when you decide if you're going with this technique when I finished my first side. So I came back to this point and will answer this question in a few minutes, okay? Then I can show you the result and you will understand how you can use this technique. And to be honest, I'm working with several reverse layering techniques. I mean, 90% of all long hair haircuts in my clients, by my clients. This is pretty easy when you understand and you're trained in. It's pretty easy and pretty fast. So, the last one. Last section. I comb it carefully. I only have here some hair on the side because on the top of the head there's nothing to cut. And I still have control about my guideline. So, now I comb the hair in the natural form and you can see the result, what's created. You can see a strong layered result beginning in this area and all the hair is going to this point. That's the reason why it's reverse layering. When somebody is asking, where can I use it? You can use it everywhere, but you have always taken care about the length in the front and the length your client wants to have in the back. For example, if I start here with maybe a 7 centimeters long area and I'm taking care, you can see this is the length you will create in the back. So if you are not sure, you have maybe a client who wants to have longer lengths in the back, you have to take care. Maybe it's important that you start from a longer point. Yeah? Always take the hair from the nape, put it around the head and take control if it's fit with the beginning when you're starting. Otherwise, you start this haircut and in the middle of the section you see, oh my God, I'm too short and I have no connection through the nape area. So this is the only thing you have to take care about it. But fashion, in a fashion way, at the moment we have really strong layers. So this is a kind of a fashion haircut too. It doesn't matter if it's a basic haircutting technique. This is very fashionable, especially when you see later on when I did the blow drying and some final soft and slice cutting techniques, then you see how fashion this haircut gonna be. So, now, one side is finished, we move ahead with the other one. And now another important point is coming up. How do you get the connection between both sides? First, I make it a little wet.
Until you're making it, can we make few questions? Does it make on the end line?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. But of course, if you cut it a little shorter, you can also do a horizontal line. But if you see the fashion right now, we have more like a V-line or a convex line in the back. So.
Is it like shaggy hair?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Because shaggy means you have more disconnected hair. If you take a look, I have a few shaggy haircuts on Instagram TV, and you see there are more disconnected lengths. But if you do the blow drying, it has a little shaggy effect, of course. So, now I do the next. I take a small section from my first side. You see, it's only about 3 millimeters wide, not more. Please don't do a centimeter or something like that. Take a few millimeters wide, only for you to take care that both sides fit with each other. And then take your clips, put it away. Comb the guide lengths from the other side through the second side before cutting. Now you go in the right position and you're doing the same technique.
Can you move the Jane to the
Oops, perfect. So, I'm still doing my diagonal partingings, and I repeat once again, you see, the technical description is always the same. You have a 45 degrees diagonal parting, you have the rectangular distribution, and the medium cutting angle. So I comb the hair, and now I see the guideline from the other side. I'm checking that my finger position is parallel to the parting, and I cut the second side. That's one of my tricks, because in the beginning, especially in the fringe area, I'm working with a little smaller partingings, because to be absolutely secure that I have no mistakes there. And when I go backwards, then I make the sections a little wider, because you does not see minimal mistakes. So, but in the beginning it's important that you have control about your haircut. Especially when you have a client which is the first time in your salon, or you do this haircut for maybe the first time. So it's good for you if you feel comfortable and you start with smaller sections in the beginning.
Does it mean that the curtain bags have to be longer if you want to have hair longer? You take only 2 lines for...
Okay, this is an interesting question. No, it does not mean you can do a different technique, but to explain this other technique, it's I have not enough time and I cannot do it in one haircut. But for example, only to give you an intention. If you have a curtain bang and you want to have a longer length here, and you put this up and you see, oh my God, it would be too short. You have another opportunity. Maybe You can comb the hair not in this direction, you can comb it in this direction. And then it's a little bit longer. This is one of the opportunities. But for this, I would recommend watching the online workshop at Udemy. There is a technique with very long layers, and you can see what I mean. Maybe we do another live session and explaining this kind of haircut. So I go still diagonal forward. Now I'm in a position that I split the section. Take a look at my guideline underneath. Still have my diagonal finger position and continue with cutting. So now I go forward, take the next section. There's an additional tip for you when you do this in salon, because my Jane Manneke has no feet, of course, but your clients hopefully have one. That means if you want to do this haircut, you're standing in front of your client. So don't stay here. Please move on the other side. So the feet of your client are in the middle and you're standing on the opposite side. That means you comb the hair in this direction. If you walk here and the feet of your client are here and you do that, that's a really high dangerous, because most of the time you comb the hair like this and then you are too short. So it's better to stay on this side, on the opposite side, and you do the sectioning here. I show you like I do it on a client in salon. I do the sectioning, then I walk around on the other side. I'm standing on the opposite side, and now I comb the hair and continue with cutting. I hope you understand that. So. You see, I walk around the head, do my next section, comb the hair forward, take control, and if you like, you can put the comb inside the section, and then you see the direction you should comb before you cut. So I split the sections, makes it easier to have control about these lots of hair. And you see how often I comb it before I start cutting. This is really important. And an additional tip from my side, if you do all long hair cuts, do a treatment before you start cutting, especially if you have a client with colored hair. That's what I do with my Manneke all the time. I wash it and then I make a treatment, a strong treatment for bleached hair, and then I start cutting. If you have a hair and it's frizzy and your comb doesn't really work well, so this is not a good idea and not a good way to cut long hair. So, next section. And you see, when I walk through the back, through the nape, the sections are a little wider, so I can hurry up a little bit, and that's the same I do in Southern as well. But I comb the hair still seriously. So, I split the sections, take away the hair I cut it, and now I comb this hair up. I show this one more time, you see. Especially in this position where I am working now, I have control of the length from the other side because I still have a small guideline from the other side. And this small guideline helps you taking control, and you do not have any corrections later on. This is one of the biggest issues if you use this technique. It's very fast, yeah? And you have maximum control about the result. Last two sections. So now we do the last one of the layering, and then I will show you the result of these layers and will explain you what's the important issue is compared to some of these 70s layering techniques. Just give me a few seconds, and then I turn my mannequin around. Oops. So, Now I put away all the clips and we shake the head a little bit. So you can see the strong layering starting from the face, going around the head form, and in the nape you have a V form. When you go now to analyze, and you start now to analyze the lengths, what is the big difference between the reverse layers and maybe some of other layering techniques I know? I see very often hairdresser which start doing layerings with a horizontal finger position. For me, it's a kind of old-fashioned, because this is a way of doing layerings which we learned maybe 20, 30 years ago. If you take a look at this technique, you see we have not a horizontal layering here, we have a diagonal layering, which means for your client, you increase the length around the head shape into this V form. And this makes it so impressive and so different. If you do that, especially when the blow drying will be finished, and you see that on the street, you see this is a different kind of layering than maybe all the other people have. So, the last step you have to do now is to make the outline. But this is pretty easy because you see the lengths you create. The only thing is comb the hair in a natural position and finalize the outline. Of course you can make it shorter, that's not a big deal if your client likes it shorter, but for me personal, I love this length because it's more fashion in these days, so I leave it here, and we have still enough hair that we have a nice shape in this haircut. So guys, this was the reverse layering technique. You know, normally we show the final result after the blow drying, but to be honest, the blow drying, especially with the mannequin of this haircut, will take a little bit too long for you to wait to see the result. So we decided for today, I do the blow drying and I will make pictures, and you will see them maybe in 45 minutes. So, but we do not come back with the live because the break would be too long. And I want to make really a nice finish on that so that you can really see how amazing this haircut is. So, I hope you loved this as well as I do. And we will come back the next time and we will advertise far enough so that you have the possibility to arrange your schedule, that you maybe can follow us once again. And next time we will go with a more artistic haircut. What we're gonna do, we will see. We will decide later on what's maybe in fashion going on till that time. So we will come back in 2 or 3 weeks with another live workshop, and then I think we're going for a bob length. Last time we did a pixie, today we did a long layering, so the bob is the right one for the next workshop. So stay healthy guys, I hope to see you soon, and I wish you a great day. Bye, yours Markus.